welcome to episode 8 of the Very Metal Diary of Cleo Howard. Wednesday, 16th of April. Mark Dobbs was wearing a t-shirt featuring a pair of fornicating pigs and the words, "Making bacon today." Mrs. Savage told him to wear something different tomorrow. We don't have a uniform, but we're meant to wear appropriate clothing. The thing is, dear diary, this is a very appropriate t-shirt for Mark Dobbs. Last year, when we were all mucking about in physics because our supply teacher hadn't turned up, he was judged the student most likely to do a porn film. We went round the room deciding who was most likely to do what. Ian was most likely to end up in a band. Jenny was most likely to be a brain surgeon. Donna Harlow was most likely to get pregnant. Sally Walker was most likely to work in boots. She always wears so much makeup that it looks like her face is shouting. I was most likely to write a book and to fail maths. People ask me for help with English, but never with maths. It was English last lesson today. Miss Wallace said Mark Dobbs' t-shirt showed one of the more difficult uses of an apostrophe. I bought Kerrang on the way home. It's got machine head, corn, and a tiny bit of typo negative and napalm death. I was thinking about what clothing is appropriate, and I've decided that my clothing is very appropriate to someone who loves metal. I never wear anything with a swear word on to school, because that's just asking for trouble. I like to remain under the radar of teachers, where possible. Thursday, 17th of April. I went to the shop and got a bounty for breakfast. I shared it with Ian. I wonder if we're ever eating a bounty at the same time that Alice Cooper is eating a bounty. It's unlikely, because when we're eating a bounty at 8:30 in the morning in England, it's 2 in the morning in Arizona, where Alice Cooper lives. Friday, 18th of April. If I was Alice Cooper, I'd probably be up at 2 in the morning eating a bounty. He doesn't have French first thing on a Friday to worry about. Today was a brilliant day at school. Barry the Builder told me to have a good weekend. Any idea why old people always say, "Thank Crunchy it's Friday, dear diary"? Also, is TGI Friday busier on a Friday? And if so, do the staff say, "ONI Friday"? Oh no, it's Friday. In the evening my period started. To cheer me up, Mum bought me a Maverick bar. It's new, but it's just like a fuse really. We watched Have I Got News for You. The eco-warrior Swampy was on it. Mum said that it's possible to save the environment and have clean hair. Her priorities are seriously skewed. Even if we were the last 2 people alive on the planet after nuclear meltdown, like in the book Zed for Zachariah, she would still make me brush my hair before I left the cave to hunt for berries. Saturday, 19th of April. I got ready to go to the pub, wearing jean shorts, red leopard print tights, and my Slayer t-shirt, and Mum said I wasn't allowed to wear leopard print, or jean shorts, or any shorts until I'm 18. She says they make me look like a streetwalker. I asked her what a streetwalker was, and how come she knows so much about them. She told me to not be cheeky, or I wouldn't be going out anywhere until I'm 18. I changed into black jeans, and then went out to meet Jenny and Ian. There are women in the Green Man who are wearing much more exciting stuff than I want to wear. I've seen women in corsets, in PVC dresses, in really low-cut tops, and really short skirts. Ella told us she'd seen a penis this week that reminded her of a Mars bar. It sort of had the same veins as a Mars bar has got chocolate ripples. Lizzie said she won't want to eat Mars bars anymore. T-Reg asked me if I'd like a nibble of his Mars bar. Everyone giggled. If I'm not allowed to wear any shorts until I'm 18, then how will I do PE? This thought has cheered me up. Let's see what Mum says when I ask her to write my excuse note. Although, I bet I'd be allowed to wear tracksuit bottoms like the Muslim girls do, and so I'd still have to do PE. Arse. Sunday, 20th of April. I walked to the shop to get the Sunday People for Mum, and on the way a couple of boys started playing air guitar at me and saying, "My sister's a greaser, my sister's a greaser." That Clarison advert hasn't been on for years. Oh, I hate being surrounded by outdated, unoriginal prats. When I got home, I watched my Newman and Badil at Wembley video to cheer myself up. Monday, 21st of April. We had a letter home today saying that platform trainers have been banned from school. There has been a spate of twisted ankles. I blame the Spice Girls. One of the few good things about my school is that we don't have a uniform, so we can wear normal clothes, but people always seem to push it a bit too far. Today is the Queen's birthday. I hope she got to do some cool stuff instead of just walking about shaking hands with people and having to show an interest in whatever they're up to. If I was the Queen, I'd get all my favourite bands to play for me on my birthday, and then I'd have a massive trifle and I'd not eat all the fruit on the bottom because I'm the Queen and it's my birthday and I can do what I want. I'd also get a gold leopard print dress made and a giant Viennetta with a crown on it. Tuesday, 22nd of April. We made Rocky Road today in home ec. It was really easy. Even the kids who shouldn't be allowed near cookers managed it. I'm definitely going to make it again because it was lush. This, dear diary, is what you need to make it. 100 grams of butter or margarine, 225 grams of plain chocolate broken into pieces, 2 tablespoons of lovely golden syrup, 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, 2 tablespoons of caster sugar, 50 grams of glacé cherries, 100 grams of chocolate chips, 100 grams of mini marshmallows, 225 grams of ginger biscuits, or digestive biscuits, broken up into pieces, an optional 50 grams of walnuts, and then icing sugar to stop it sticking together at the end when you've chopped it up. It doesn't take long to make at all. All you have to do is line a cake tin with greaseproof paper, and then heat the butter, the chocolate, the golden syrup, the sugar, the cocoa powder, and stir it with a wooden spoon. It melts pretty quickly, and then you just have to leave it to cool down for a little bit. Then, put the glacé cherries, chocolate chips, marshmallows, biscuits, and your optional nuts in a bowl, and then slowly mix it in with the melted chocolate sauce. Then, put it in your greaseproof lined tin, pop it in the fridge for a while, and then you can remove it from the tin, cut it into pieces, cover it in icing sugar, and it's pretty much ready to eat. Wonder if Barry likes Rocky Road. Wednesday, 23rd of April. Mark Dobbs is wearing a t-shirt which says, "Stop your grinning and drop your linen" today. Mr. Murray saw it and asked him to keep his jumper on. Kerrang have put the Foo Fighters on the cover, but I had to buy it because it's also got typo negative. Black Sabbath have reformed. This is brilliant news. I expect we'll soon be hearing no more of the Foo Fighters now that the originators of heavy metal are back in business. That sounded quite good, didn't it, dear diary? Do you think I could be a metal journalist one day? Imagine the people you'd meet. Thursday, 24th of April. I've realised that if you want to be a metal journalist, you'd have to speak to people. Today, Barry said hello to me, and I said hello back, and then I ran out of things to say. In the evening, I wrote my God's list. Today's is Glenn Danzig, Pete Steele, Ice-T, Max Cavalera, Tank Girl, Rob Newman, Zodiac Mindwarp, Dave Mustaine, David St Hubbins, and Dave Lister. Friday, 25th of April. We had a supply teacher in biology, and they made us set fire to a peanut. We pointed out we'd already done this, but they made us do it again. We did it quickly, so we had time to muck about at the end of the lesson. I went to Ian's after school. We had toast and pineapple jam. We listened to all of Gav's Black Sabbath records, including one I hadn't heard before called Heaven and Hell. It's got Ronnie James Dio singing from Dio. It's also got angels smoking on the album cover. It looks really cool. In the evening, Mrs. Butler called in with some magazines for Mum. Apparently, fake tan is going to be the next big thing. There's nothing much in the problem pages. A lot of the advice seems to be to talk about it, but if your problem is that you go all silent around people you like, then the problem and the solution are all mixed up in one. Saturday, 26th of April. We put the Black Sabbath song, Heaven and Hell, on the jukebox in the Green Man. I was glad to get out of the house today because Mum is in a foul mood. She always gets grumpy before and after I see Dad, and then she calms down again. Depending on what mood Mum is in, dear diary, I've been punished by being grounded for a week for relatively minor stuff, like being caught just smelling of cigarettes. And then I've been bought pizza for the big stuff, like being hours and hours late home. Now I decide what's wrong and what's right without checking with Mum, because surely what's wrong and what's right can't just depend on what mood you're in. I got grounded a lot last year, dear diary. I think Mum was lonely when Dad left. I spent a lot of time on my own in my room, and I think that's why I'm so shy now. While everyone else was out, learning how to talk to boys and how to talk to people they don't know, I was sat in my room on my own reading. Last summer, I missed out on a lot. I missed out on a lot of drinking vodka in the park on a Friday night. After a while, I realised Mum couldn't actually do anything to stop me from going out, so I just stopped paying any attention to the groundings. And I just told Mum where I was going, approximately, and when I'd be in. I'm scared it's left me a bit weird. I can spend ages on my own without really minding. And I sometimes feel lost when I'm surrounded by people in the pub. Sunday, 27th of April. Me and Dad went to see Nanny Howard. We watched the Grand Prix. You don't pronounce Grand Prix how it's written, dear diary. The X is silent. This is why French is so much harder than German. German is a great language because it doesn't bugger about. They've got words like Handschuh, meaning glove, and Schlafsack for sleeping bag. These are very sensible words, whereas French is sprinkled with extra letters that you don't even say. It was Grandad Howard who liked the Grand Prix, but Nan still watches it. She says she likes the noise, and it's very restful. Monday, 28th of April. Today has been a totally rubbish day. I found out that the building work on the sports centre is almost finished. This will mean no more Barry. Over the last few months, I've learnt the following Barry facts. He's 19, he smokes Embassy No. 1. He thinks being a builder is okay. During the day he drinks tea that he gets from a thermos that his mum makes for him in the morning. He likes Motorhead, Metallica, White Zombie and Exodus. He's seen Slayer live. He is hairier than the average man. His eyebrow honestly looks like Bert's from Sesame Street. It's a good job I'm not a shallow kind of a woman, and I'm not bothered by this sort of thing, dear diary. I can see past his massive eyebrow, although, if it gets much longer, I'm not sure he'll be able to. Would it be easier to get closer to him if I was David Attenborough and the BBC were paying me to observe builders in their natural habitat? Tuesday, 29th of April. I've realised I could never be David Attenborough because I'm almost allergic to those horrible beigey trousers he wears. Mum made me try some on once, and I swear I felt hot and uncomfortable, and like I was getting a rash. After school, Ian and I watched Hammer Horror's Countess Dracula. Both of us would currently be at risk of being slaughtered by henchmen to fill Countess Bathory's bathtub. Ian asked me if we were in her castle and the only way to escape getting our throats slit was to shag each other, would I? I said yes. Obviously having sex with him is preferable to death, but it would be very weird. He said that we could run into a fancy bedroom with a four-poster bed that had curtains around it, and then we'd lock the door and put all the furniture in front of it. After Ian left, Mrs. Butler called round with some magazines for Mum. The problem pages included, "My daughter is marrying an unsuitable man," "My husband might be having an affair," "I have a moustache," and "My boss is always mean to me." I spent a couple of minutes checking I don't have a moustache. I don't, but if I get one, I know what to do now. I think I'd like to do it in a four-poster bed, dear diary. Wednesday, 30th of April. I was just saying hello to Barry this morning, and he got called away by a grumpy builder who said, "Stop talking to the jailbait and get some work done. We've got to be finished in less than a week." In some ways, I'm very insulted to be called jailbait. It was just assumed that I'm under 16, without the grumpy builder actually checking. And actually, I'll be 16 in only 10 months, and I think I look 16 now. And clearly, so do all the newsagents in the vicinity, because they all serve me with cigarettes. But at least he thought I was shag-worthy enough to be jailbait, so it's not all bad. If Barry and I are meant to be together, all the grumpy builders in the world won't be able to keep us apart. Me and Ian listened to Gav's Quiet Riot Metal Health album today. This is one of the best things in Gav's collection so far. Terry came upstairs and gave us a Mars bar each. We looked at the chocolate ripples and giggled, remembering what Ella had said. I like to bite the caramel off first and then the nougat bit. Ian and I both think that sometimes Ella likes to say things which she thinks will shock people. Mum brought home some new low-fat Walker's Light crisps today. She's always on a diet. I blame the magazines she reads. No one in Karango's on a diet, because diets are very boring. If Mum eats chocolate, she says she's being naughty. I can think of a whole load of ways I'd like to be naughty, and chocolate is not one of them. Did you know, dear diary, that the Mars bar was first made in Slough, which is near Reading, and that the police made up lies about what the Rolling Stones and Marianne Faithfull were doing with Mars bars in the 1960s?